You walked into a room full of people and you felt every eye was on you. I mean, you were sure when you walked in there, out of all of the people in the room, they were judging you. They were talking about you. You replayed the conversation, if you can hit that, all night. You were convinced. You were embarrassed. Walked in there, out of all of the people in the room,
I know I did something
to make myself look stupid. They were talking about you is with me. You replayed the conversation, if you can hit that. I mean, maybe it's something where you were convinced, saw the short text, you were embarrassed, out of and all decided, the people in the room.
I know I did some way that they
made myself look stupid.
They were being kind of sassy.
They were being kind of crappy with me. I think the way that they responded or the lack of response meant that they were mad about something that I said. Am I on my own there? Or how about a time like, you walk past a mirror, like past a reflection, and the only thing you could see is what's wrong with you? Like, oh, I look like I'm getting a little bit of pounds on me, or my hair is not right. Anybody ever out there had something like that happen? Anybody can hear the cricket besides me chirping. And that's not the lack of response in the audience, though. We got a real cricket giving us some joy in this room. Amen. But see, how about this one? I got one. How about the good news you get? Anybody ever got some good news and then immediately you go looking for the catch? Like, there's got to be something behind this. It just can't be that good. Or how about somebody complimented you and you assumed they must want something? I know that I've been there. What do you want? Like, they come up and they start saying like how good you look or how good you did this or good you do that. And you're just like, okay, just get to it. What's behind this? What do you want from me? There's got to be a catch, right? See, here's what's happening to you guys. And here's what's happening to me. When your eyes are clouded with worry, with fear, with anger, with sadness, you stop seeing reality, and what you start to see are threats, threats that aren't even actually there. And the worst part of it all, man, is while you're staring at the threat, you're walking right past the well of opportunity, and that is going to stop this morning. Okay? You with me? Because here's the truth I'm coming to tell you today. And I want you all to please, man, tune in. Please listen. That there's a well of opportunity right in front of you right now. And fear is the only thing keeping you from seeing it. You see, this morning I'm going to show you two people in the Bible who could not see what was right there until God opened their eyes. And that is how he opens yours. So stick with me this morning, because I guarantee that today we are going to change things. And I'm good and happy to see you all up in the chat. I'm so glad that you're here this morning. Let's see, we got one here from Teresa. She's saying, Shabbat Shalom. I was on the highway traveling last Sabbath. My mother's brother passed away, and he was a great being. We are back in Tennessee now. Much prayer and love to you and your family. I know that we are not like the faithless, that we rejoice when one of our brothers or sisters passes on, and just praying that he is on to glory. Amen to that. Yes, Shabbat Shalom to everybody. Hey, Sheila, good to see you. Hannah, happy Sabbath. Got Charles up in here. Who else? Ladros, good to see you. Miguel, much love. Hey, Keith, much love, guys. We got just for you for why. Shabbat Shalom. Good to see you guys, man. Much love. If you're new, hey, drop where you're watching from. We're always glad to see new people dropping in and saying hello. But we are going to be getting on to something good today. We are going to crack open these scales from your eyes, man. We're going to let them shine so you're going to be able to see things so much clearer. So let me show you how this works. See, your brain, when it's scared, it has one job: find the threat. And it's all right, man, because that's the way the Most High made us. The brain is trying to protect you. I mean, think about it. See, when you think people are judging you when they're actually not. They're just really worried about themselves, but your brain is trying to scan for some potential threat. Like they may have a rock behind their back that they're going to hit me in the head with. Amen. So you're just trying to scan and look out there. It's like being pre-wired into us from the beginning of time to just try to find these things like before the actual attack happens. Can I see any sign of an attack? But here's the real deal. When you think people are out there and they're always worried about you, they're judging you, is that you're the star of your story and you are a background extra in theirs. So when you go around as the main character, you're thinking that everybody else is thinking that you're the main character. And they're starring in their own movie. So they have their own story going on that they are the main character in. And it's so common that psychologists actually have a name for it. And they call it, it makes sense, the spotlight effect. See, research actually shows that we just absolutely massively overestimate how much other people notice us, how much they judge us. I mean, you walk in thinking everyone is clocked on that stain on your t-shirt, right? You get this little bit of mark and you just know, I got to go home and change my clothes. I got to figure this out because I got a stain. Or how about you go to, now I know I had this one happen to me. It's got to happen to you guys out there. You go and you use the bathroom and you go over to the sink and you kick on that water and the water shoots out a little hard and gets on the front of your pants. And you just know that everybody's looking at your pants when you come out, and look at the guy who urinated in his pants. Look at that. Anybody ever had that happen? I mean, I'm thinking I've like got to go by the blow dryer and get my pants seat. You're going to leave me out hanging looking dumb right now, but you know that you have done it, right? The truth is it barely even registers to other people because they're so busy worrying about how their hair looks that they're not looking down at the stain on your pants or on your shirt, or they're not looking at the bags under your eyes or the new crow's feet that you got on your face. They look at you. They just see you, but they're concerned about them. You're just an extra in their movie, man. See, everybody in the room thinks that they're the one being watched. Everybody. But almost actually nobody is really watching. So really, here's the first thing to get free of. The people you think are judging you are too busy worrying about themselves to even notice at all. And really, the threat you're scanning for, most of it actually just ain't real, guys. Most of it just ain't real. It's straight up in your heads. Nobody even really cares. And let's see if I can get I want to pull this up. Can I pull it up? I can do it. I got it in me. Everybody's thinking right now that I'm slow and that I'm not moving quick enough and they're judging me. See, fear doesn't show you reality. It only shows you threats that aren't there. That's fear. Potential threats. And most of those potential threats aren't even real threats, man. And here's the deal. Do you know this is kind of funny? Maybe you guys know, or you don't know, why people go like this when they say hi. Do you ever know that? Like, in America especially, and even across the world, when you grow up to greet somebody and you do this, why do you do that? Anybody in the room? To stop them, to get attention. Do you know where it goes back to? To show people, I mean no danger. I'm a friend. I have nothing in my hands. That's where it comes back from. Because if the first thing you really go up and you look at people are at their hands and their teeth and their eyes. You're scanning to see any sort of sign of aggression. So you go and you look right at their hands. And so really that's where that came from. To do that is just a natural thing that we've built in to show people we are not a threat. I didn't know if a lot of you knew that, but that's how much we are pre-scanning. How about this one, guys? Yeah, we got Sheila saying, hey, not holding a weapon. How about this one for the fellas out there? Fellas, you up here in the chat? You're with me? You listening? Or only got the cricket over here with me? So when you walk up and you're at a public spot, you're at the local Walmart, and you see somebody that you know, how's your head nod go? Come on now. How does your head nod go? So when you see somebody that you know, all of us fellas know, we go like this. Hey, Keith. Hey, we're open. We're open and we reveal something, right? Now, how about if it's somebody that you don't know, but you just want to give them a sign of respect that you know they're there? What do? You tip your head down. Like that. You walk by, hey, Keith. And you see this other guy coming up. You're like, how you doing? Like that. You do the little head nod down. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? You're doing it because if it's a friend, you're revealing your jugular. The jugular is one of the most protected spots on your body. So you're saying you see your bro, hey, Miguel, what's up? I'm going to show you my jugular to show I trust you. But when you have the head down, you're just doing the acknowledgement. Hey, I see you're there, sign of respect, but I'm not showing you my jugular. See, that's how it goes, bro. And that's how come too, if you walk by somebody you kind of don't know a little bit, just a little bit of a gesture. Hey, yo, what's up? Yo, what's up? But it's your buddy, you're all open and you're expressing openness. I'm saying all this to say what? To tell you how to greet people? No, man, to make you think all kind of complicated thoughts about how you're acting when you're out in the public? No, to show you how much it's already built in and wired that you're seeing how people are receiving you. So it's already there that if somebody else has these phobias, or they've been traumatized and they're not good with public, and they're thinking that everybody's thinking about them and they can't be open and safe around people and they're closed off, they're going to come up and show you signs that you pick up that you don't even know you're picking up, that person must have a problem with me. They must be angry. They must be upset. And it's like, dude, no, they got their own stuff going on. And there's people in the Bible that had their own stuff going on. And one of them I want to get into is a girl that we all know. And to do this, I need to take you up into the desert. You ready to go into the desert? And we're going to go into Genesis chapter 21. Let's head over there. Genesis chapter 21, where the stage been set for us. Let's see here. Boom. Get into this. This is Hagar, right? And boom. Hagar, she's up here in the desert. And it says that, let me get into this just a little bit. Hagar is being cast out because we all know the story. Amen. She's been cast out from her master's house. She's alone. She's wandering in the wilderness. She's with her young son, Ishmael, and she's got one skin of water, which the skin is like a lamb's skin that they would hold water into, and the water runs out. How would you like that, man? Be in the desert with your son, and the water runs out. Genesis 21:15. And when the water in the skin was gone, she put a child under one of the bushes. And then what does she do? Then she went and sat down opposite him, a good way off, about the distance of a bow shot. For she said, let me not look on the death of the child, as she sat opposite him. And she lifted up her voice and she wept. She was like, I just can't take it. I can't watch my son die. How would that be, man? You'd be like the lowest of the low, right? I know that I would be. I mean, this is a mother at the absolute end of herself. No hope, no options, just grief and a dying child. Makes me thirsty just reading it. But watch what he does. Let's go and read a little bit more. And it says here that God heard the voice of the boy, and the angel called to Hagar from heaven and said to her, well, what troubles you, Hagar? Fear not, for God has heard the voice of the boy where he is. Up, lift up the boy and hold him fast with your hand, for I will make him into a great nation. So she had to go do something before she even sees any hope. What do you mean make him into a great nation? I'm literally over here waiting to watch my boy die, and you're going to tell me, lift him up and I'm going to make him into a great nation? How you going to do that, God? Can everybody say, how you going to do that, God? How are we going to do that? This is how God did that. Then God opened. Everybody say opened. Opened. God opened her eyes and she saw a well of water, and she went and filled the skin of water and gave the boy a drink. We can give God a hand clap, right? Now, listen. Let's read this again together. Then God opened her eyes. Does it say that God made a well? Does it say that God created water? No, right? It says, then God opened her eyes and she saw a well of water. Which means the well was already there, folks. The well had been there the whole time. You have Hagar out in the desert with her son, no water to drink, dying of thirst, 20 feet from the answer, and her tears hid it from her. Her grief literally blinded her to her own rescue. How many wells have you missed crying over the desert? I mean, the provision was there. She just couldn't see it. Her tears of sadness, her tears of despair, her tears of fear were the very thing that hid the thing that would save her. Thank God, right, that he's with us. Thank God that he's a good father. And it's just not her. No, see, this goes for the men too, right? I mean, because sometimes the men would be like, yeah, well, that's a woman for you. That's a woman just to get all freaked out and scared. I wouldn't have done that. Yeah, as if, right? You know, you think this is just a one-time thing. Well, let me show you a man that has the same thing happen to him. Let's go over here. It's in 2 Kings. I'll pull over back to the Blue Letter Bible. 2 Kings chapter 6. I don't know how many of you have read this, but this is a great read, and it's about the prophet Elisha and his servant, all right? See, the prophet Elisha and his servant, they wake up one morning, and they had an enemy army that like surrounded the entire city. They got horses, and they have chariots. Man, they got soldiers everywhere. And the servant, just like you would have, bro, Charles, don't you try to act all confident on me because you're sitting all comfortable in the room of privacy of your own home. But there's soldiers everywhere, man. And the servant, he absolutely loses it. He freaks out. Let's go over this. 2 Kings chapter 6, verse 15. When the servant of the man of God, so this is a servant of Elisha, he rose early in the morning and he went out. Behold, an army with horses and chariots, they were all around the city. And the servant said, alas, my master, what shall the two of us do against all of them? And what goes on? What goes on? See, this is him. This clouded eyes, right? All he can see is the threat that's around him. The enemy. The thing that's going to inevitably destroy him. He's like Hagar in armor, staring at the problem, but blinded to the rescue. Unless I had a bazooka in semi-automatics, I'd probably be freaking out too. Just got to be honest. But what's interesting is you look at here, 2 Kings 6:16, Elisha said, don't be afraid, for those who are with us are more than those who are with them. But bruh, it's just you and me, Elisha. What are you talking about? But the thing is, the reason that Elisha's so calm is that Elisha's seeing through a different set of eyes. Amen? Elisha's seeing something that the servant can't. And he prays this one thing. Let's go check it out together. He prays this one thing. Let's go 2 Kings 6. Let's go to verse 17. Right here. Then Elisha prayed and said, O Yahweh, please open his eyes that he may see. So Yahweh opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw. And behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire all around Elisha. And God opens the servant's eyes, and he suddenly sees the hills are full of horses and chariots of fire. You know, this is the army of the Lord surrounding the enemy's army. Let that sink in just a little bit, man. The whole time that Elisha is literally, not Elisha, but that the servant Dathan is literally just being human. Don't be judging him now. He's literally being human. You got all these the whole army, everybody surrounding you. We're gonna die. It's just a fact, Elisha. We're just straight up dead. We better just be getting our hearts right because this is inevitable. And you ever have something like you know, I heard somebody one time, they were talking about people, and it's a freaked out thought, but people that get in a car wreck or people that are, suffering from an illness and they're just taking that last breath and they know it's their last breath. Like what's going through their mind at that last moment, that they're in between this reality and the next one. And the gentleman talking about this said something that just stuck with me. He said, I bet they're thinking, I didn't think it was going to be like this. When it's an accident like that. When it's not like this old age, and maybe it's an old age and you didn't accomplish the things that you thought you would and you always thought you had more time. But the idea that you're taking your last breath here on earth and you thought, I knew it was going to happen one day, but I just didn't know it was going to be like this. And that's the thought I bet that Dothan was having in that moment. As he's a man of God standing there with his master Elisha, knowing that Elisha is God's man on earth, his prophet. And he's thinking, man, I knew it was going to happen sometime. But Elisha, I didn't know it was going to be like this. Because all he could see was what the fear was casting in front of his eyes. But what's ironic about this is that God is always in control. God always has a master plan. And the protection of the Lord was there the whole time. The power of the Lord was there the whole time. The rescue of the Lord was there the whole time, standing on the hills. But see, the servant couldn't see a single bit of it because of the fear he had in his eyes. And I just hope when the day comes for me, and if that thought comes to my mind, man, I knew it was going to happen, but I didn't know it was going to be like this, that I'd be able to sit there and think, God, give me the eyes to see that this is all in your time and this is all your plan and that you are here and you're a God of order and that I trust you up until the last breath. Because see, Hagar, she couldn't see the provision either. And the servant right here, he couldn't see the protection. Two different things, but yet the same mechanism. Fear binds, God opens. I mean, you look at Paul in the Bible, the Apostle Paul, the apostle of the New Testament. Remember how he was blinded with hate? Remember how he saw Christians as the enemy? Christians being against God? That he was doing the will of Yahweh by murdering Christians? Blinded with hate until the scales fell from his eyes. And then he could see with new ones. And then he saw them in a whole different light, right? See, the rescue was already there. The fear just hit it. Just like with Paul, the reality of who the Christians were and who Jesus Christ was, it was already there. But the fear of change just hit it from Paul. So he went out to do like a lot of humans do, destroy what I don't understand. How many people, when they don't understand, and how many of you, when you don't understand what life is giving you, how many of you go out to destroy your life? Maybe when we don't know why we're getting punched in the left and hitting the right, and life just keeps throwing crap and crap and crap and crap. It's like, hey, God, instead of me going out and through eyes of fear, destroying my life, I'm going to see that there's eyes of provision and eyes of protection, that you always been here and you are always with me. So just take off the blinders, Most High. Let me see that you're the God of control and order. God, be like the man that prayed for his son when he walked up to Jesus and wanted to see his son delivered from Satan. And he said, Jesus, help me with my faith. See, here's the question. Now, please listen up in the chat, man, and in the room here, is that if fear blinds us and the good stuff is already right there, how do we actually see again? I mean, you can't see provision while scanning for a threat, right? What you look for is what you find. If you think everybody's out to get you and everybody's going to hurt you, then what are you going to see? People out to get you and people trying to hurt you. Your mind is going to look for evidence to support. And then when you find that one side eye, that's all the evidence you need that everyone else is against you. I knew it. Or you think that person's got an attitude with you and you just don't know what's wrong. And then they send you that text, they send you that email, and you go, look, I knew it. I knew it. Somebody else reads the same text through a different set of eyes and they're like, bro, I don't think that that's a problem. I don't think, nope, it is. This is proof. This is evidence. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do like the spirit that went up in Paul in the early beginnings. I'm going to just destroy and blow up the whole thing. And the friend is like, hey, why don't you call them and have a conversation with them and make sure that you're looking through the right set of lenses. Now I'm just going to murder the whole thing. Guilty. See, clouded eyes find problems. Opened eyes find wells. Who can give me an amen? And here's the thing about both Hagar and that servant. Neither of them fixed it themselves. You men need to hear that out there. You fixers. Both times we read about today, it was God who opened the eyes. And since it was God that opened the eyes, it means step one isn't try harder to be positive. That's where I've really fell short, man. I'm just going to reel it. I just need to try harder. I just got to. I know there's people who battle with anger. And how's it worked for you? Just try harder not to get set off and kicked off. That's because you got your steps out of order. And that's how come it's not getting better. See, step one is asking God to show you what your fear is actually hiding. You've been staring at the armies. This morning, he wants to show you the hills are full of fire and you've been crying in the desert. And he wants to open your eyes to the well that's been there the whole time. Brothers and sisters, what you look for, man, what you look for is what you are going to see. Let's go and I want to jump over here and I'm going to pull up I can do this real quick. The poll that we have going. So if you're watching the replay, yeah, you tuned in at a great time. We're going to pull up the poll and I'm going to actually see if I cannot jack everything up and go and give you a screenshot of the poll for those that are watching the replay. And the poll says this. We asked the group here that are watching live. And if you're not watching live, you can go and put in your own answer to this poll. And I will come back and read it and check that out. Let's see if this works. Oh, my goodness, it did. Boom, boom, boom. Make room, make room, make room. All right. So when you are stressed, what do your eyes go to first? And you can see it right here. Everything that is wrong, 30%. What people think of me, 10%. Worst case scenario, 30%. I still try to look for the good. We got 30%. I'm glad that some people, they're still, what this shows me is that the majority, I'm looking at everything that's wrong. I'm looking at the armies of the hill, all over the hill surrounding me. But inside of me, I know God is with me, so I'm still looking for the good. I haven't given up hope. That's okay. Because see, here is how this is going to change things for us today, guys. We're going to stop trusting in our scared eyes. And when you're clouded, when you're worried, when you're angry, when you're afraid, you're going to realize that your eyes are lying to you. They're showing you threats, judgment, dead ends. And your eyes are hiding the wells, the chariots of the Most High. Your eyes are hiding the people who actually love you. So stop. So when you're going through that, you stop asking, what's the threat? And you're going to start asking, God, what am I missing? God, what are my eyes clouded and not seeing? See, here's what that's going to look like for you this week. Give you 3 steps like I always do. Number 1, catch the spotlight. Catch that spotlight lie. This week, when you feel sure that people are judging you, stop and say, I know that they're worried about themselves and not me because they're the star of their own movie and I'm just a backup supporting actor in theirs. I mean, I'm probably literally just an extra because that's the way they are in your movie. Proverbs 17:9, he that covereth a transgression seeketh love, but he that repeateth a matter separateth very friends. Name one well you have been missing this week. One good thing, like a person, like an open door, a blessing that's been there the whole time that you stared at the problem. And go and write it down. That's always good because you can come back on it later and see. A lot of times if you think that you haven't grown, it's like when you go to try to lose weight and you feel like you're not losing weight at all. And then you walk by the mirror and you go, I still look the same. But some people have decided to take a picture of themselves, keep it private. And then if you've stayed on the weight loss journey, you go back and you look at that photo from like 6 months ago and you're like, dang, that's some change. If you journal and you even write down your problems and your fears and your worries and you're working on self-development, go back in 6 months and you can read that and you can go, wow, I am getting stronger. My eyes are getting clearer. And when you work on that self-development, what you're also going to work on is your prayer life with the Most High because you're going to start seeking Him first to open your eyes, right? When you do that, pray Elisha's prayer. Every morning this week, God, open my eyes, show me what my fear is hiding from me. And then watch what you start to see, man, because the scales, I'm telling you, they're going to fall. They're going to fall. Here's what I want to leave you with. Hagar, we read about her. She was dying of thirst, right? Scared, alone, feeling alone, 20 feet from a well that she couldn't see. Or how about that servant? surrounded by an army of fire that he couldn't see. And the only thing standing between them and the rescue was a set of eyes that were clouded by fear. The well was already there. The chariots of the Most High were already on the hills. The people who love you are not laughing at you. The door is not as closed as your fear is telling you, guys. You just can't see it yet. And the reason that you can't see it yet is that you're tired. You're tired, you're scared, and your angry eyes are never going to see the opportunity right in front of them. It makes you think about when the scales, it says, fell from Paul's eyes. That all that hate and animosity and confusion and fear that was going around Paul before his conversion in his head, in his eyes. And you know that the eyes are part of your brain, but they're external. Go check that out. The eyes are actually part of the brain, and that all those thoughts and emotions and everything floating around, that the Most High, he stilled them. And they formed scales on his eyes. Into where so that when the scales fell, all the confusion fell, all the fear fell, all the hate fell. Where Paul could see now through clear eyes, and he became a changed man. With this, I want to leave you with a question to sit with. What well have you been crying next to? What well have you been crying next to that's been there the whole time? It gets me thinking. Well, brothers and sisters, that's the mirror. I thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's been an honor and a pleasure to be here with you. I pray you have a blessed week. Much love to each and every one of you. See you next Saturday, 10 a.m. Central, where we go on another journey together. Much love.